All right, hey guys, this is Miranda. This is for the advanced intergym comp. 6 to 9, 10 to 13, 14 to 17, and 18 plus are doing it that day. It'll be at the Blaine gym. It's gonna be set up similar. There's gonna be some things subject to change, especially depending on the age groups. There are 13 points and a time limit of 4 minutes. I tried to make the course nice and doable for everyone, but if it's too hard, I wore this shirt for you so that you have some encouragement. The first point is going to be starting here. It's going to be the start of your course on the blue pad. You just have to grip Blaine. Again, these will be a little easier for 6 to 9. It won't be any harder than this for all of the age groups, even 18 plus and 10 to 13. You get your point when you just tap the blue flip board. You don't have to grab it, just tap it. And point. Point 2 starts over here on the trampoline. You're not allowed to use the blue, just the black. You go from the flying squirrel to this flying squirrel. For 6 to 9, it'll be set up the same way for all age categories. Then you're gonna go to the monkey stronghold there. You can use any part of it except for the top. And you're gonna go through the floating peg boards. For 6 to 9, the pegs are already gonna be in there. They come in and out very easily, so just a heads up on that. You just have to go to each one. You have to go from this to the red, to the blue, to the blue. You cannot skip the middle blue one. They don't have to take any pegs out though. If one falls out, that's okay as long as they can somehow manage to stay up on there. You cannot touch any part of the board or grab a hold of any part of the board except for the pegs. For 10 to 13 and up, you're gonna go from here, any part of the hold except for the top, to the first. So there'll be 2 pegs and the first red board here. And then you have to move them to the blue board. You can do one or both to the blue board. And then you have to end up, you get your point when both pegs are in this last one right here. You cannot skip this board. You can only put one in it, but you have to end with both pegs on here. Again, you can only hold on to the pegs, not the top of the floating peg boards. Once you have both pegs in there, you can drop when you hear clear, and that is going to be your second point. When the 6 to 9 year olds get both hands on the peg that's already going to be there, they can drop as well. So then the third point, you're going to start right here, and you get your point when you're on the other side of the big blue crash pad. You cannot touch any part of the crash pad, otherwise you fail the obstacle. You can only use the 2 rings that are up and the rope. You can do it any way you want, you just have to get over on the other side. And this will be point 3. And then you get a clear. And it's going to be the same way for 6 to 9. The rings might be moved a little bit closer for 6 to 9. So this is point 4. Once you just landed here from the rope and the rings, you need to start with one hand right at the side. For 14 and 17 and 18 plus, this is going to be on here. You can move it however you want further. It cannot fall off or you fail. Your feet have to touch any part of the red pad. These may or may not be here. Probably will have them up and out of the way. You cannot touch any blue with your feet. You then body prop all the way over till you can hit this side over here. For 6 to 9 and 10 to 13, we're gonna have this down like this. And you just have to have it touching the red the whole time. Again, your feet can only touch the red pad back here. The ropes won't be there. So it'll look something like this. And then you go all the way so you can touch that. And then you get your 4th point. So moving on, point number 5 is going to be a trapeze swing to the first lâché bar. For 6 to 9, This bar is going to be 2 foot further, so you won't have as long of a lache. You get your point when you land 2 hands on this lache bar. Next is our new obstacle, the unstable longboard. It's 8 foot. Right now we have it 4 foot away from this lache bar, but I think for the competition we're going to move it 2 foot up, so you'll have it right there. It is unstable, so just remember that. So for this is your 7 point. You can lache to it. I'll have just a quick short lache because it'll be closer. You can go front, however you want. There's hand holds on each side. There's also cliffhanger holds on some sides. The easiest way would be the side hand holds. You get your 7 point when you have a hand in each of the last hand holds on the back here. So once you have your hands there, then you get your 7th point. Moving on, we have our first double point obstacle. So just a reminder for double point, I know some of you are new this comp. If you don't get the first point, then you don't get the option to try the 2nd point. So just go right on to the next obstacle. So this is a 2-part obstacle called over and out. You're going to start on these rings. You have to get up and over the vault box and onto the black pad. No feet on the floor, on the mat, and you can't touch the vault box at all. So that's the first part of that obstacle, so you get the first point. All right, so once you've landed here, you're clear for the first part of that obstacle, so you get the first point. To get the 2nd point, you start behind the pipes. You go through the pipes, you can use hands and feet. You have to be on the wooden board to get your clear. You cannot touch any part of the bridge here, but you can use the ends of the pipes if you want for balance, hands or feet. Clear. The claws are going to be on the ground here, so you're going to have to pick them up and place them. You can place them one on each of the beginning of the rings. You're going to go through all 8 rings. You get your point for this obstacle when one claw is in the last ring. And this is going to be the same for 6 to 9, 10 to 13, 14 to 17, and 18 plus. So I've got my point for that one. So I think we might have our first triple point obstacle at the very end. This is going to be 3 points at the very end. So for 6 to 9, there's a black piece of tape on the blue short wall. They have to have one hand over it to get the first point, and they have to do that 3 times. So you get 3 points. If you miss your first time, then you just don't get the point for all 3 of them. So it's sort of a big one. So you're going to go for the black, one hand over, first point, come back down, do it again, one hand over, 2nd point, come back down, do it again, one hand over the black, 3rd point. And that's when your time is going to stop. For 10 to 13, you're going to do one hand on the top of the red. So get a hand on the ledge. You can have 2 hands if you want, come back down. That'll be your first point. 2 more times for your 2nd and 3rd point. And that'll give you a total of 13 points if you get those. That'll be your 13 point. And your time stops. So 14 to 17, and then 18 plus will be the 14-foot wall. You can get it right on the edge. You don't really care, as long as you get on the blue part or on the corner part of your wall. So same thing for the older 14 plus. 1 or 2 hands on the top, and then you're going to do that 3 times in a row to get those last 3 points. That's it. See you guys then.